Hi guys, how are you? Coffee time, excuse me. Yeah, I think we're starting to get to a point where we have to be, as I mentioned probably a few months back, we have to start being comfortable being uncomfortable. It's coming. Right now there's a whole flurry going on of social media. There are actually people out there celebrating the death of a father and a husband. That's not right under any circumstances. And yet this is the heartlessness, the void. The void. This is a sickness that people want to live up in their own little world up here because they don't like, if you don't think like me, you're bad. And many Christians are guilty of that. Many. If you don't think like me, I can't be around you. I'm not a big fan of the denominations. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of religion. But they're still our brothers and sisters in Christ. Period. We don't have to see eye to eye, but we're supposed to love each other. You know, today I had a brief moment where this popped into like a little mini vision, and I heard and saw like the Catholic Church would call Charlie Kirk a servant of God. And it was weird. And like, this was like strong, like, wow, but he's an evangelical. How's that even possible? Well, about an hour later, I see a video. I'm taking a break from putsying around the house. And I see that his wife is Catholic. And they were in process of having the Catholic Church recognize their marriage. Now, if the Catholic Church is smart, maybe they will recognize someone from outside their faith. And I know that sounds horrible to a lot of you people. That's okay. But the man was a holy man. He didn't just walk his faith, he lived it. That's what holy means. Be like God. God says, be like me, for I am God. But it was this brief little boop. I mean, I heard it, I saw it. That quick. And you see, I had did a few videos ago about what we can learn from the lives of the saints, how we can emulate them. And what do you think Charlie Kirk is? You don't think we can't learn something from what he did, how he did it? That's all. Most people hear saints and they go, oh, Catholic Christian heresy. No, you don't know your church. I told you in videos before, after the Reformation, all of a sudden, saints are bad. Why? Because of the king. There would be no man, because the king was not granted a divorce by the Catholic Church, because he was Catholic. No man should be able to rise above and tell a king what to do. Not royal blood, remember that. After the Reformation, saints are bad. Know your history. If you're out of the Reformation and there's no saints, okay, saints means holy. Okay, and holy could be set aside for a purpose. I had mentioned, a few months back, Pontius Pilate became a believer in Jesus, the very man that had Jesus put to death. And he became a saint through the Catholic and Orthodoxy Church because they were one. And I know that the Orthodoxy recognizes him still as a saint. I don't know about the Catholics. But you see, he was set aside for a purpose. No matter how gruesome we think of it as it was God's will. Hence, he came to the faith. He followed Jesus. His purpose was obviously by God set aside for a purpose. That's all. Just recognize it's not how we perceive it, but truly it was God's will. It's grace and mercy. But we have to start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. To celebrate the death of a father and his children. Killed in front of his wife, basically. Killed in front of thousands and now millions of people. And you celebrate that. Somewhere up here, in your little world of my imagination, this is a good thing. We're definitely in the last days. You see, we're not supposed to think alike, okay? Most people, I have a lot of faiths that come to my channel, all kinds of faiths. And I appreciate that because I try and learn everything I can about a given faith. I do. I don't follow religion. Those are the tools of man. This is how man wants to celebrate. This is how man wants to do things. Okay? This is how man wants to venerate it. You know, there was a lady commented on one of my videos and said Charlie Kirk was a Illuminati. I don't care. We don't do this on my channel. And you can go back and look at the comments. She's just pissed at me because I have no discernment. I don't give two shits about worldly things. I could care less if he was Illuminati. I don't care. What I do know is he was a father. He was a husband. And he walked and lived his faith. That's disparaging to me. This is piling on after the man's dead. She said she's never coming back to my channel, and I even said, you keep talking, I thought you were leaving. But I could have gotten really ugly, and I didn't. Because that is shameful. That is shameful. And I'm not doing this to bash her. I'm just saying that people live up here. They live up here. And they can't see. They don't care that he was a good father, that he was a man of God. He was an Illuminati. What the hell is wrong with people? And these people like this think that they're awake. They think they're awake to the ways of the world. And they're dead spiritually. But she was a person of faith. She said I judged her. She's dead spiritually. If that's what matters to you, you're dead spiritually. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. Now, this rash of calling out people for being heartless, I'm not going to engage in that. But I will tell you this, I won't tolerate it in my own person, face to face. I never have tolerated those things. Even if I had friends when we were younger, not so much older, but when we were younger, Like, oh, one of my friends would be bashing one of my other friends. I'm like, my man, that's, I'm friends with him. I don't care what you think about him. Don't bash him to me, and because I wouldn't let him bash you to me. Do you understand? But this lady took it that I was somehow the bad guy, and yet she's piling on. He's an Illuminati. This is what you care about? You can't see that was a man of God. And I hope the Catholic Church does list him as a servant of God. Maybe it'll bring the faiths back together. Maybe it'll do something. And I know this, for some of you, you're throwing up in your mouth when you hear that, because you would rather be separated than unified. And that's the truth. That's the truth. You would rather drive a spike every second of the moment instead of being unified. You would nail down their sandals so that they couldn't come one step closer. And that's not how we're supposed to be. Food for thought.